And welcome back, everyone, to Ozarks Live. We're very fortunate once again to talk with our friends from Council of Churches because, as always, they have something amazing up their sleeve. You remember Michelle Delcour down there with Council of Churches. Introduce us to who you brought with us today.
Absolutely. I brought with me today Ron and Kathy Merritt. I've been lucky to know this couple for over 20 years now, and they spend a ton of time over at Cross Lines volunteering, but they also, their life group does wonderful things too at the Christmas season.
I love what you do at Christmas time, and I'm glad you're here to talk about that to our audience, because this is something that you can do as well and talk about really helping out people, our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors during the holiday season when we need it most. So this Adopt a Family happens every year. Before we get into your personal experience here, how does that work exactly?
Absolutely. Whenever we work in conjunction with the news leader for the Share Your Christmas, and so Cheryl, she interviews all these families, and then she takes all those families and compiles them into these news stories on the news leader. And so then at that point, people, they pick what story they want to adopt.
Yeah.
And so that's how you end up choosing your family, and then you go and you buy all the toys and presents that they're asking for and bring them to Cross Lines, and the families get them at that point.
Those stories tug at your heartstrings, and obviously they tugged at your heartstrings. How many years have you been adopting a family?
Oh, probably 5 at least.
About 5 years? So how did it start? You were reading a story and something got you. Do you remember the first one?
Well, we see them on TV, of course. You guys put them on, but then because we work at Cross Lines, we also see the list that Cheryl makes, and we chose a family that that we felt we could adopt and do something for. Our life group did, and so we just have fun. We divided up. The girls shopped for the little girl, and the men shopped for the little boys.
Wonderful, yeah.
And they did a good job, those men, this year.
It's fun, isn't it?
Oh, we had a lot of fun. We sure did, yeah.
So you've done that. Do you typically pick a family with children? I mean, I know their individual stories really tug at you because some of them just hit on really hard times for whatever reason. Some have illnesses to deal with. I have read and seen the stories about some of the elderly folks who were there, and they're all alone, and they just need maybe a blanket and you know, some toiletries and things like that you don't really think of. But what are some of the things that you found yourself buying that you thought, you know, I would never think of this as a Christmas gift? Are there things that have surprised you?
Well, a set of dishes this year for the family, because the man happens to be a quadriplegic. It's a set of grandparents raising 2 grandchildren.
You see a lot more of that
and
lately.
She wanted some dishes that were lightweight for him to handle as a quadriplegic. So, I mean, that just, you know, you think, I'm a grandmother.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of someone having to raise 2 young children. It just pulls at your heartstrings.
It does. Now, once the shopping happens, Michelle, how does it all get delivered to the recipient? How does that work?
Yeah, well, and it really depends. A lot of times Cheryl and her crew of people will go and deliver those presents directly to them. Some of the families will come pick them up. Of course, we have our distribution that happens on the 21st. And so those are the families that weren't necessarily adopted but still are getting toys and food and everything else. So they come and they get to pick out their toys and they get to get their food, and volunteers at that point actually take all that stuff and walk it out to their car for them. And yeah, it's such a great time.
And we're seeing some photos here of some of the items that are coming in and going out to families that, you know, some of these things are just straight up necessary. Other things are just a toy that's going to put a smile on a child's face on Christmas morning, which doesn't that make you feel so good when you do that?
It does.
I know that it does.
We are so blessed ourselves, so it's great to be a blessing to families in need.
It's definitely a way for you to give back, which is great, and thanks for your volunteering at Cross Lines. Speaking of that, you guys could use some more volunteers as well for this distribution.
Absolutely. It takes hundreds of people to make sure that we have enough people coming we've got 1,800 families coming.
Wow.
So, and as they come in, they get to pick out all those toys, and we've got volunteers that are carrying those toys for them. We've got all the food that they have because they have enough food for that full day, breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, full turkey, the whole 9 yards. And so all that has to be carried out to the car. It takes hundreds of people to do that. So we still have quite a few volunteer opportunities, especially in the afternoon. And it's great for families, even little kids can do it. So if you want to bring your family along and do it as a family project, what better way to show your kids how to give back to the community?
Oh, right. A great way to get your family involved. And I know the little kids really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And all the people who are part of it are appreciative. Okay, real quick, you've got the Amazon wish list
We
to help
do.
fill the toy store. Those of you out there who are still doing some shopping, you can do all of this right there on your phone. How do they do that?
Absolutely. If they go to our website, well, you can go to ccozarks.org, you can go to Cross Lines Holiday. It's on your Facebook page as well.
Right.
And they go ahead and click that Amazon wish list. You pick a toy, and that toy, you're going to do it as a gift, and it's going to ship straight to Cross Lines. You don't even have to leave your couch.
And it's shipped straight to you.
Yep.
You guys take care of the rest.
Yes.
You know you've done something nice, and you don't even have to get up to do it. So come on, you can do this,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Super
they make it
easy.
very easy nowadays,
They
right?
do.
Right.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all you do in adopting a family, for sure. Ron and Kathy Merritt of Springfield, if they can do it, we can all do it.
Yes.
And Michelle Delcourt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Think of all our friends and neighbors and kids this Christmas. Make it a good one for them. All right. Coming up next, Jim Barber joins us to talk about everything that the Branson Regional Arts Council is up to. They're always up to something really great. We got a lot to cover. Stick around.